We start the section 8.3, diagonalization with orthogonal matrix. Okay. Symmetric matrices appeared in many applications. In this section, we will show every symmetric matrix is orthogonally diagonalizable. We will study every symmetric matrix is orthogonally diagonalizable. What that means is this. First, for a real square matrix A, if A is invertible and A inverse is same as A transpose, then A is called an orthogonal matrix. Orthogonal. What that means is, if A is an orthogonal matrix over order n, then the following four facts hold. The first one is the rows of A are unit vectors, and they are perpendicular to each other. All the rows are perpendicular. The inner products are all zero to each other. The columns of A are all unit vectors, and they are perpendicular to each other. And A is invertible. And the norm of AX is same as norm of X for any vector, any n by 1 vector X. So for when you multiply this orthogonal matrix to any matrix, then the norm does not change. These are very important properties of an orthogonal matrix. Okay? Actually, we have shown the similar fact already in section in the theorem 6.2.3. So we just start. Let A is this matrix, then A transpose is like this. If we multiply those two matrices, then we can easily check it is an identity matrix. In this case, we call this A is an orthogonal matrix. Next definition, orthogonal similarity. Let A and B are square matrices of the same order if there exists an orthogonal matrix P such that C is equal to P transpose AP, then this C is said to be orthogonally similar to A. Okay? C and A's are similar because this P is an invertible matrix, and since it is orthogonal matrix, if it's an orthogonal matrix, it satisfies four properties. And so in this case, it is similar. But the transforming matrix is diagonalizing matrix is an orthogonal matrix, particularly. This P is not only invertible but also orthogonal. Then we call this A and C are orthogonally similar. Particularly if this C matrix is a diagonal matrix. Say that if there exists an orthogonal matrix diagonalizing A, then A is called orthogonally diagonalizable, and this P matrix is called a matrix diagonally diagonalizing A. P is a matrix orthogonally diagonalizing A. Okay. So this suppose there exists a matrix D such that P transpose A is equal to a diagonal matrix D, then and P is an orthogonal matrix, then we call this matrix A is orthogonally diagonalizable. Okay, here. With those definitions, we start some main theorems. Theorem 8.32. Every eigenvalue of a real symmetric matrix is a real numbers. If you have a real symmetric matrix, then all eigenvalues are real. The proofs here. And also, the same proof will be given in section 8.7 in the theorem, say 8.7.1. I'll give a proof once again here, so I will skip this proof. Just read this, because you're going to see the same proof in section 8.3. Anyway, let A be a symmetric matrix like this. Then its characteristic equation is given like this. then as you see, the eigenvalues are all reals. But one interesting thing is that this is a symmetric matrix. If you have a symmetric matrix, you will always have the eigenvalues which are all real numbers. That's all that it will be all happened because of the previous theorem. Next, if a square matrix A is symmetric, if the square matrix is symmetric, then eigenvectors of A corresponding to distinct eigenvalues are perpendicular to each other. Okay. If a matrix is symmetric and if you have two distinct eigenvalues, then their corresponding eigenvectors are orthogonal, perpendicular. Let's see. Here is a proof. Let V and V2, V1 and V2 be eigenvectors corresponding to distinct eigenvalues lambda 1 and lambda 2. Then see this. We're going to use this fact. Lambda 1 is not equal to lambda 2. We start from lambda 1 V2 transpose V1, which is actually we start from A V1 is equal to A transpose V1. Because A and A transpose are symmetric, so these two are same. So we multiply V2 transpose on both sides. Then A times V1 is a lambda 1 V1 because V1 is a corresponding eigenvector to eigenvalue lambda 1. And this scalar can come out like this. Okay? So this holds. So we have a left-hand side like this. Then look over the right-hand side here. This can be written in this way. And A V2 is the lambda 2 V2 because V2 is an eigenvector corresponding to lambda 2. And so you can find the transpose of this, which is this. As you see, now the left-hand side and right-hand side are same, like this. And you subtract one from the other. Then you have a same factor and times lambda 1 minus lambda 2. But they are not same. So this should be 0 because scalar times another scalar is 0, but one scalar, which is lambda 1 minus lambda 2, is not 0. So this second part should be 0. That implies V2 transpose V1 is equal to 0, which means inner product of V1 and V2 is equal to 0. So, yeah, this is into, so this means the inner product of V1 and V2 are 0, so they are orthogonal, they are perpendicular. So, if you have a symmetric matrix and two distinct eigenvalues, then their corresponding eigenvectors are orthogonal. Next theorem, 4. Let A be a square matrix and then A is orthogonally diagonalizable if and only if the matrix A is symmetric. This is the theorem. If A is a symmetric matrix, then it is orthogonally diagonalizable. Always, if and only if. See the proof. Suppose A is orthogonally diagonalizable, then there exists an orthogonal matrix P and a diagonal matrix D such that P transpose AP is equal to D, isn't it? But D is a symmetry matrix, so it's all, and D is a diagonal matrix, so D is equal to D transpose. It's a diagonal matrix, so D should be D transpose. So let's see, D is equal to D transpose. So D is this, and D transpose is this. This can be written in this way. Okay, so P transpose AP is equal to P transpose A transpose P here. This implies what? P can be, A can be written, so in here, you just multiply P and P transpose on both, on left-hand side and right-hand side on both. Okay? Then, this comes to this one. But since P is an orthogonal matrix, so P transpose, P times P transpose coming to identity matrix and this same thing. So all these four comes to what? Identity matrix. So A and A transpose are left. So A should be same as A transpose, which means A is symmetric. So if A is orthogonally diagonalizable, then from here you can easily find A is same as A transpose, A is symmetric. The other side, if A is symmetric, then we can show A is orthogonally diagonalizable as well. But I will explain once more later. But the detailed proof can be found in this web address. Okay, theorem 5. If A is a symmetric matrix of order n, then A has n eigenvectors forming an also normal set. Okay. If you have a symmetric matrix, n by n symmetric matrix, then A has n eigenvectors forming an also normal set. N eigenvectors that are also normal. How? Since A is symmetric, by the above theorem, A is orthogonally diagonalizable. Okay? Symmetric, orthogonal diagonalizable. So there exists an orthogonal matrix P and a diagonal matrix D, such that P transpose AP is equal to D. Okay? Hence, the main diagonal entries of D are eigenvalues of A, and the columns of P are n eigenvectors of A. But the columns of this orthogonal matrix P forms an orthonormal set. They are all unit vectors and they are all orthogonal. So they are orthonormal vectors. So we have n columns of orthonormal vectors. So these n eigenvectors of A are also normal. So we can easily find if it is a symmetric matrix. We can easily find n orthonormal eigenvectors when it is a symmetric matrix. Next theorem 6. For a square matrix A of order n, the following are equivalent. First, A is orthogonally diagonalizable. And second, A has n eigenvectors that are orthonormal. And third, A is symmetric. They are all equivalent. So if you know one, then you can use other two properties. If A is symmetric, you can always tell that A is orthogonally diagonalizable and A has n eigenvectors that are orthonormal. Actually, that's the summarization of the earlier theorems. So this is the theorem that you should know after you convince the earlier theorems. So important thing is how to find an orthogonal matrix P diagonalizing a given symmetric matrix A. So this is the goal. Now, for a symmetric matrix A, find the orthogonal matrix P diagonalizing A. How? First, find the eigenvalues. From the characteristic polynomial, the eigenvalues comes -3, 0, and 6. You have 3 distinct eigenvalues. So from here, you can easily find the orthogonal linear independent eigenvectors and also orthogonal eigenvectors because it was a symmetric matrix. These are orthogonal vectors, eigenvectors. So just normalize this. Just normalize. Divide it by the norm of itself, which comes here and here, here. Just form a matrix whose columns are these 3 column vectors. Then this is an eigenvector. Each of these are eigenvector corresponding to lambda i's, and these are orthogonal. The columns are orthogonal, and also the lengths are all 1. So this P is a orthonormal matrix whose columns are orthonormal vectors corresponding to eigenvalues lambda 1, 2, 3. So P transpose AP should be a diagonal matrix whose diagonal entries are -3, 0, and 6. That's it. So find the eigenvalue and find the corresponding eigenvectors when you have a symmetric matrix. Then they must be orthogonal matrix. But if they are distinct, then just normalize it to form a the orthogonal matrix P. Second, it can be shown that a matrix A, this is a symmetric matrix, isn't it? This symmetric matrix has eigenvalue -3, whose algebraic multiplicity is 2, and another eigenvalue 6. So we have a 3 by 3 symmetric matrix and 2 distinct eigenvalues. So from the first one, whose algebraic multiplicity is 2, then find the 2 linear independent eigenvectors like this. Now you only have 2 linear independent eigenvectors. Because it's a symmetric matrix, we will have n linear independent eigenvalues, clearly. Okay. So from this eigenvalue with algebraic multiplicity, we can easily find the 2 linear independent eigenvectors corresponding to this lambda 1. Okay? Then these are only linear independent, but not orthogonal. So use the Gram-Schmidt also normalization process to find two, y1 and y2 and just normalize these two, have g1 and g2. Then these are also eigenvectors corresponding to lambda 1, and they are unit vectors and they are orthogonal. So we have two orthonormal vectors from lambda 1, and for the lambda 2 find the eigenvector and normalize it. Then we have another orthogonal vector which is an eigenvector corresponding to lambda 2. So just form a matrix P whose columns are this one and this one and this one, G1, G2, G3, like this. Then this matrix is, if we multiply P transpose AP, then you will have a diagonal matrix whose eigenvalues are this, -3, and 6. Okay, that's it. So just find the eigenvalues and find the corresponding eigenvectors as much as you can. Then just use the Gram-Schmidt social normalization if you need to find the normal vectors. Then form a matrix P whose columns are those normalized vectors. That's the whole idea. Okay, and the function of matrices are application of these steps. So in this case, you can write the matrix functions like this, or like even with the AT. So f of t can be defined in a matrix form like this. This all can be done with this. That can be found in here, and I have my web address as well. Okay, next. Quadratic form. Any question before we start the quadratic forms?